Hello, good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, Nalini.
How are you?
I'm fine. I hope you're fine too.
Yeah, I'm fine. Okay, so let's start our rapid fire session. So, my first question is, can you tell us a little bit about your book?
Well, Nalini, this book is very close to my heart because I made my students be a part of it, which means I encourage them to identify their talents and become story writers, poets, and even tagline writers. So these students are actually student teachers who are doing their B.Ed in order to become a teacher. And I always felt that they should do something additionally before they complete their course. And as a part of their B.Ed, we launched this book. And today they are extremely proud of what they did back in college.
Okay. So, my second question is, why is it called Ripples of Imagination?
Well, Nalini, this is called Ripples of Imagination because it is a collective effort of 3 batches of students. We started off writing short stories, and I thought, the other students also had something to add on, but not to the extent of composing or writing a story. So I went in to introduce the concept of taglines to the entire batch. So everyone had to sit down, take private time off, and create a signature line of their own. Then came the juniors, who were also, showing a lot of enthusiasm and zeal towards this project. And there is when I introduced the concept of poetry writing. And we focus more on limerick, which is like it brings out humor, and there's a particular order meter that needs to be followed. So students did enjoy taking up this task. And the main idea of me naming the book Ripples of Imagination was it started off with short stories, then it went on to taglines, and then it went on to poems. And later, the students also ended up writing a tribute to their university, to SRM University. So then you get the point, right? As in
Right.
how the ripples worked.
Okay, nice. So, what advice would you give to other educators who wish to foster creativity in their students?
I would I would say that most of the educators are doing an excellent job wherever they are. But the technique I followed was I prefer to be the role model. Even when I brought in the concept of story writing for children, these students, being, adults who've completed their undergraduation, felt a little sensitive or maybe embarrassed to write for children. But then, then came in the motivation. And when you're a teacher, you should be able to go down to any extreme as well as rise above. So we had to do that. And still, the students were not ready to give me their stories. So I started my story, which is The Baby Tomato. I wrote it and I circulated it in our group, in our WhatsApp group, and then came in a lot of comments and observations. And then, if you noticed, a few of the students fell into the same pattern. Like they wrote about the bitter gourd, which is also a vegetable. Then we had the potato. So they followed the pattern. So, as teachers, I think more than telling them what to do, if we do it, they will fall in line.
Do you think all this is worthwhile?
Definitely. Though I've written other books, this book will always be my number one because I brought my students on board and I wanted this book to be available to them at any time in their lives. And that's when I trusted White Falcon Publishing House. I was extremely impressed with the procedures, with the communication, the comfort zone, and the team actually gelled so well that I didn't feel, any regret, even 0.1% of regret I did not have. So everything fell in place, and I think it was the blessings of the Almighty that today you and me are talking about this beautiful project. I think it's first of its kind where you have students and professor combining and contributing to the world of literature, particularly children.
So, what kind of reception do you expect Ripples of Imagination to receive from the academic and literary communities?
Well, we'll be very happy if it reaches out to children in the first place. I truly hope from the bottom of my heart that the schools, the heads of the various schools, get to know about this book and buy it in bulks, taking it to their libraries and then to the classrooms and then prescribing it as maybe a non-detailed subject or maybe as a moral science subject, wherein students would be given this, or even just as a supplementary reading. This could be considered for that. Fingers crossed. We never know how far our book is going to go, but slowly and steadily, I'm sure it will.
I hope everyone will read your book. And that wraps up our rapid fire session. And thank you for joining us today and sharing your thoughts, and all the best for your book.
Thank you so much, Nalini. It was a pleasure talking to you.